Welcome back to Sheeko Sheeko, another episode. As I stated before, this will be our last episode until Ramadan. So inshallah, we'll see you guys after Ramadan. All right, so our next segment is about hijabs. So we're starting off with this because a couple... So we're gonna start off with this segment because a couple of months ago I was just on YouTube going through some videos, and it was just about people that have been doing really good things in our community, either having some type of campaign or poets or artists or whatever the case may be. And whenever the individual was a female, that a woman that was not wearing a hijab, the comments always pertained to her not wearing a hijab, right? And so some of the comments, and I'll just read to you. Some of the comments were, and this is just random comments that I just took from different videos. I'm not surprised, I'm very surprised as to why she's Muslim and not wearing a hijab. I have no idea how I came across this channel, but it looks like all the Somalis in Canada are very westernized. Let's see. I'm looking up some more. I'm not saying you can't be a poet, but do it properly as God commanded. Respect yourself. Don't be a disgrace to yourself. Be yourself, humble yourself, and cover yourself. On that famous day, when it comes by, be your real self, little sister. Again, a lot of looks like advice, but you know there's underlining shade there. Cover your body. You're a Muslimah. Did you not know? And those are the type of comments. So my question to you is, and this goes to, I'll start off with Halima and Zainab because you wear hijabs, right? Do you feel that you get treated differently by non-Muslims or Muslims, right, men and women, in your daily life because you wear a hijab? And before you even start that, I don't know, have you always worn a hijab from the day you came of age? And if you didn't wear a hijab prior to that, do you see a bit of a difference? So one of you guys go first.
You can go first. Go, take it away.
Okay, so when I was younger, I started wearing hijab when I was 3. And then I took it off when I was like 13. And khalas, I kept it off. And then I put it on again when I was like 18. And then khalas, I took it off maybe like 19. And alhamdulillah, I put it back on maybe when I was like 22. Mm-hmm. And alhamdulillah, now I'm 25, so I can say maybe like 3 years I've been wearing it consecutively. But
MashaAllah.
the different, thanks, girlfriend. Yeah. But the difference, subhanAllah, with my wearing it now, Ya Rabbi, is that I know why I'm wearing it. Mm-hmm. And alhamdulillah, that actually helps me a lot more than when I was just putting it on before. Mm-hmm. Okay, to answer your question with regards to subhanAllah, do I get treated differently? Yes, I absolutely, subhanAllah, get treated differently. And it's this idea of when I'm wearing my hijab, what I'm doing is it's a mark of faith. Mm-hmm. And Ya Rabbi, people will sort of look at me and put me on this like pedestal of high expectations that nobody can uphold to. Mm-hmm. And the moment I make a mistake, my failure is like scrutinized by non-Muslims and Muslims. Mm-hmm. And you just sort of feel like, at what point did you deny me of being human? Yes, subhanAllah, I'm wearing hijab, but at the end of the day, I'm also human. And it's just, and so when I used to not wear hijab, I realized why I didn't wear it, because it's this idea of I don't feel like I'm ready to commit to all of these responsibilities, because if I make mistakes, khalas, people won't hold it to me as much as they would if I wear hijab. In most instances, when you're not wearing hijab, you just kind of blend in. But when you wear hijab, what you're saying is, hi, assalamu alaikum, my name is Halima Jama, and I am Muslim. You know, I'm visibly saying this without having to say it, right?
Right.
And yeah, I absolutely feel like, subhanAllah, with wearing hijab, because it comes with responsibilities.
Yeah.
I have like...
So you don't get away with the mistakes that you would...
at all.
From a person that's wearing a hijab?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So for instance, like swearing, right? Like
because when you're wearing hijab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the one to wear it, what's happening is you're wearing... you have to wear it with honor, and it gives you a sense of respectability. Yeah. So, Ya Rabbi, if I'm speaking in a manner that's not comforting, and that of swearing is not comforting, mm-hmm. it's not the best of speeches, mm-hmm. what's being said about me? Tell me. It's I'm living this contradiction of a life. Right. And it's this idea of, when you wear hijab, you want to be most mindful, which is why when I was younger, I wasn't mindful. Right. Like, I'd wear hijab, it was just really a garment. Right. Now when I'm wearing hijab, it's like, okay, Allah, now that I'm wearing it, I want to do it better. And in some of that is speech. Speech is, part of what...
You can't cuss people out.
For sure.
Well, I can still stand up for myself, but out of
no,
the
literally,
thousand
I mean,
ways...
like cussing their mamas out, their granddaddies, everything. Like, you can't,
No.
Yeah, Zainab.
Yes.
what do you get treated differently? Did you always wear a hijab from the young age all the way till now? And if you did take breaks, was there a difference in terms of how you got treated?
So I started off when I was young. It's a similar story, but I had it on when I was young, like maybe 10.
Right.
Took it off when I was like 21,
Right.
and then put it back on. And again, it's just like a different meaning, and I think it's different as well, like growing up as a Muslim in Canada as well, and like seeing all the things that you could do, and how I feel like there's also social implications put on hijabis. Again, what Halima was saying about you're on like this higher pedestal, and you just represent all Muslim women and all of Islam, and like you carry that like
responsibility,
that status, and sometimes that burden, right? Because like it's a burden when you do something wrong, right? Like if Iman was to make a mistake versus like it would just be judged of the fact of like you are a hijabi, so therefore
you should know better.
And then within regards, if I'm treated differently, I think that with men, certain types of men, you become invisible, and then certain type of men kind of treat you in a way where it's like, again, with this higher pedestal, so it's not the type of attention that you would wanted in the first place as well.
What do you mean certain men see you as an invisible? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, because...
Would you say something?
They won't holler at her. These ratchet dudes be like, oh, hijabi girl.
Say it like, no,
Let's leave her alone. Like,
no, I wouldn't simplify
leave
it.
her alone, you know?
I wouldn't simplify.
Sorry, you were talking under your breath, so I called you out. I know you seemed like you're right, but I'm gonna get to the men as well. I promise you.
I wouldn't simplify it as that, but when you are a hijabi, some people think that you're meek and that you're quiet and that you won't be vocal about certain things.
Right.
And it really doesn't just like come down to like being hollered at and whatnot, but there's a more respectable. I find that there's a more respectable approach because I'm a hijabi. Whereas my friends who aren't get disrespected because of the fact that they're not, right?
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that hijab is automatically correlated to how practicing you are.
You won't get put in a headlock. I will. From our previous conversation. Yeah, from our previous conversation. Because I'm in that space, guys.
But also with employers, I sometimes worry that because I am wearing a hijab, like, will I be hired?
Oh my God, a perfect example, subhanAllah. I was like, okay, so there was this job and I really, really wanted it. And alhamdulillah, now I'm self-employed. I don't ever have to apply anywhere. But at that time, I really wanted this job. And I remember making dua, like, Allah, give it to me. I really want this. And I remember, subhanAllah, calling them. And I got like, no, not calling them. They called me and I had like my phone interview. So I was like really excited. I put on my A game, khalas. And I remember I was speaking to them and they were so excited. Like, well, like, you know, sometimes when you can hear the excitement in a person's voice. And you're like, yo, I got this. Like, I got this. I got this. All I'm gonna do is, you know, walk into my second interview. I got it. Like, I got it. So subhanAllah, here, you know, I built this momentum with them. I'm really excited. Alhamdulillah, I'm really happy. I go to meet the employer. And their face, like the expression when they saw me, subhanAllah,
she got a scarf on her head.
To be true. It was so, it's sunk, like their face. And then I remember, obviously, khalas, I have to have this interview with them, right? So I'm sitting with them, and you can tell they're doing everything else but having this interview with me. Like, they're asking the questions that they have to ask. But they're not really interested. And they're half there. Like, it's this idea of she came all the way here, khalas, let's go through this interview with her. But at the end of it, you know, I got this email. And then the email was sort of just like, hey, hi, after great consideration, unfortunately, at this time, you were not the best candidate. And I was like, Ya Allah, like, what just happened? My hijab didn't change the person you were talking to. Like,
but why? Why did they? What was it when you had it in the bag? You get there, and you didn't have it in the bag. What is it?
Because
what took you out of the bag? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Some companies don't want the drama and don't want the hassle and don't want the extra work. So I feel like maybe they felt like if we hire this Muslim person, subhanAllah, it's just, you know, attention we don't want, drama we don't need right now. And then I just sort of felt like, but I was so great for this position. But then now, hindsight, when I look back at it, A, they probably wish they had me. And B, alhamdulillah, I look back and I realize they have a family that they want to like keep, like a, you know, a group of people that they just want to have a certain demographic of people. And
you know what, mashallah, you're doing big things, you know what I mean? And you're self-employed now, so everything happens for a reason, for real. Everything happens for many reasons, so alhamdulillah, you're doing your own thing.
But
And
it still sucked.
You know what?
And
if they see you in this show, they missed out. Okay?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hashtag them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
That escalates.
Iman, so let me before I get to the men,
God.
Iman, you don't wear a hijab.
How did you know?
Girl, I'm very observant. Okay. For real though, my first question is, have you ever worn a hijab? And if you haven't ever worn a hijab, do you feel that people treat you differently than other sisters that do wear hijab? This is not Muslims or Muslim.